the show. You are one-on-one with Wes the Sports Guy here on YouTube and online all the time at westhesportsguy.com. Make sure you bookmark that site, westhesportsguy.com, for NFL weekly reviews. We got the MLB hot stove getting a lot hotter now with the winter meetings coming up, which I will dive into in a moment. But before I continue, make sure you bookmark westhesportsguy.com, as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, and make sure also to use the hashtag #OneOnOneWes to participate in the weekly conversations. I will be monitoring that hashtag, participate with you, and if you have anything that you would like to forward along to discuss here on this channel, make sure you do by using the hashtag #OneOnOneWes. Getting right into it, the winter meetings are about to start in San Diego, starting on Sunday, and they will conclude next Thursday. Looking into what possibly could and could not happen, the topics are endless, you could say, this time of year in Major League Baseball. But one thing is for sure, you have a lot of big names that still have not signed yet, and a lot of them have to do with starting pitching. The two big names, obviously, Gerrit Cole, formerly of the Houston Astros, most likely not going to go back to the Houston Astros because I just do not see them giving the kind of money that you're going to need to give a guy like Gerrit Cole to stay or play with your organization, as in this case with the Astros, having played there the last couple seasons for them in a trade from the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then the other name is Steven Strasburg of the Washington Nationals, who just coming off of a World Series championship and a World Series MVP award to boot for the Nationals. He's been playing with them his entire career. Is he going to stay? Is he going to leave? Is he going to get offered possibly close to what Gerrit Cole is most likely going to get? Now, the numbers speculated left and right are Gerrit Cole possibly getting at least $250, possibly up to $300 million. I don't see $300 in his future. I don't think any pitcher really is worth $300 million. I mean, look at what the Dodgers have given Clayton Kershaw to stay in LA to play for them. That's a lot of money, first and foremost, for a pitcher. And has it really panned out with Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers? The arguments here say it's neither near here nor there. But long term, I would say Gerrit Cole is definitely worth the price that you're going to pay him. It's not going to be close to $300. It's going to be probably in that $250 million range. And he has quite a few suitors out there. The big three right now are going to be the Yankees. Everybody says Yankees, Yankees, Yankees. It's that time of the offseason that, it's the Yankees. They're going to do something. Whereas they have a lot of internal options that are going to be getting extensions very soon, very quickly, I might add. And then they also have a lot of money committed to Giancarlo Stanton, who they acquired in a trade in the not-too-distant past for that team. You have Aaron Judge that's going to want an extension. Gary Sanchez is going to want an extension at some point. Gleyber Torres is going to want an extension at some point for the Yankees. They have a lot of internal options, whereas I see if they go after a big name like Gerrit Cole now, to throw that kind of money at a player that they do need, and mind you, I don't disagree with that. They do need a frontline starting pitcher going forward. That showed last year in the postseason. They need that guy or somebody of that talent. But if you're going to throw that kind of money at a starting pitcher now, what's that going to say for the commitments you have currently and you're going to need to make in the near future for them? So that'll be interesting to watch. You also have the LA Dodgers. What are they going to do after the failed season and postseason they had last year? Will they make any major moves, either a trade, a free agent signing, whatever the case may be? Are they going to do something this weekend at the winter meetings to bolster that roster, kind of retool a little bit? Or are they just going to go all in and say, that's it, we're going for it now? Even though you've already gone for it the last few seasons, and yet you've failed every single time so far. And the third team, which I am representing right now, is the LA Angels, Anaheim Angels, whatever you want to call them. They will definitely be playing in Anaheim, because that news also dropped that they made a deal with the city of Anaheim to basically buy the land that the current stadium, Angel Stadium, is on right now, so that they can do with it as they please, build a new stadium, retool it, revamp it, whatever the case may be. But the Angels will be staying in Anaheim for the most likely rest of its existence. Thankfully, both parties, the city and Artie Moreno, came to a mutual agreement to sell the land to Artie Moreno and the Angels, and the city of Anaheim gets to keep a premier franchise in its city. It's not just known for Disneyland, it's also known to home and house the now what you would call LA Angels of Anaheim. But that was on a side note. Going into this is a huge offseason for the Angels. Do they have what it takes to get the big name free agents and specifically frontline starters to get this team back into postseason contention? They've been on the mends the last few years. They had a manager change with Brad Ausmus last offseason. He only lasted 1 year. They brought back Joe Madden, who was a bench coach for them for many, many, many years. And now he is the full-time manager for them. This is the time, and this is the right circumstance for them to go all in. As the Angel fan, I'd love to have them get Garrett Cole and Steven Strasburg. Is that realistic? No, it's not realistic, because you're going to have to shell out a lot of money just for 2 starting pitchers. But as we've seen in the past with the Major League Baseball and its offseason and the trends that have gone along, especially with pitching, mind you, it's always been a bullpen game. You got to get the bullpen. You got to shore up that bullpen. But a lot of teams haven't really wanted to spend big bucks on a bullpen aside from, let's just say, the New York Yankees. They spent a lot of money on their bullpen. Has it done anything for them? No, it has not. Other teams have just kind of piecemealed it together, and lo and behold, they actually won a World Series doing that. Lots of examples. But you need to have premier starting pitching, and that's where it comes down to going into these winter meetings. Are the big names going to sign now, or are they still going to drag on and wait until, let's say, into the new year, January, maybe even closer to spring training? Let's hope not. Let's get some action going, but we've already got a few of it with Mike Moustakas signing his contract, 4-year deal with the Cincinnati Reds. He will most likely be the second baseman for them because they're already shored up at third base with Eugenio Suarez. And then you also had Zach Wheeler, another of the good starting pitchers that are available this offseason. He was the first big domino to fall, signing with the Philadelphia Phillies on a 5-year contract. Time for the segment that adores Baby Yoda. Aww. Do you remember?
You remember?
Do you remember how good the Carolina Panthers were with Ron Rivera as their head coach? They were actually pretty damn good. Best season they had was 15-1. That was the Super Bowl year when they played in Super Bowl 50 against the Denver Broncos, and that was also the MVP year for Cam Newton. But the one thing that's going to haunt Ron Rivera in his head coaching tenure, both past, present, and future, is the what-if factor with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. That has been the one flaw that the Panthers had the entire time with Ron Rivera as their head coach. Could they protect Cam Newton? And really, they didn't do that bad of a job. Because, I mean, Cam Newton in the beginning of his career was kind of that, mobile quarterback. He didn't really want to be comfortable in the pocket. He eventually had to bring himself back because he is a big guy as a quarterback, 250 pounds. That's Dante Culpepper-esque territory right there. And that was another big guy who also was very mobile and very good, strong arm and everything else. But this was a quarterback in Cam Newton that got beat up quite a bit for his career, and he's also been hurt and shut down essentially this entire season with the Lisfranc injury in his foot. Can he make a comeback? I think he can. Successfully? Sure. Is it going to be in Carolina now that Ron Rivera is not there? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch. But seeing as how Ron Rivera, that was his biggest fail in Carolina, was protecting his franchise quarterback, that's not all on him, obviously, because you had the front office that needed to make the draft picks, needed to get the free agents, but they focused on other areas. Rightfully so. You needed to have weapons to surround Cam Newton. And they certainly had them. And then on defense, they had a solid defense in that 15-1 season. Thus, they came up short, though. But looking with Ron Rivera and what he was able to establish in Carolina was definitely a consistent winner, where he had, at one point, 3 consecutive playoff appearances, which also included that Super Bowl year. But looking at his totality, Ron Rivera is a solid head coach. He will definitely get back up on his feet. He's also indicated as much that he still wants to be a coach going forward. He's not just going to take some time off. He still wants to get back into it. And there will be plenty of openings for him going into next season to be a head coach. And if not, he's definitely a defensive coordinator candidate. But I would still have him pegged as a head coach because he's proved it. He's not one of those guys that got lucky one year or in a few seasons, really just because of what was around him. He's a solid coach. He's a great defensive mind. He's been on a coordinator for some of the best defenses in this current and previous era in the NFL. Mind you, he was the defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears when they made it to a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as their quarterback, for goodness sake. He also was a D coordinator with the previously San Diego Chargers in their heyday, when you had LaDainian Tomlinson as your running back, and that defense was just fantastic until it came to playoff time, though. Time for my feel-good story of the week, and this comes from Kareem Earl Reed.
Oh, this is nice. Oh, they got some goodies. Wow. Oh, this is sweet. Oh, wow. Get out of here. This is sweet. Oh, this is so nice.
And I salute you, Kathy, for that video and for also leaving those goodies for Kareem and other drivers for not only the post office, but UPS, FedEx, anybody that delivers these holiday packages at this time of year. She left a note with those goodies that read, quote, "Please take some goodies to enjoy on your route. Thank you for making holiday shopping easy," end quote. So I salute both of you. I salute those that are working tirelessly, working so hard during this time of year. I've worked in retail during this time. It's not fun, but it is semi-rewarding, especially when you can make somebody's day, and that is why I share this video with you to hopefully brighten your day and brighten your weekend as well. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you bookmark that site, westthesportsguy.com. And also subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to get notified of all the new videos here on this channel. I will probably be doing a live show next week. Make sure you follow all the social media platforms that I am on. Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. It's under the same acronym of Wes the Sports Guy. Until then, I will see you next time.